Today, I'm going to be looking at these cases from Xilence. Will we go with the airflow or will we crash and burn? Find out. All right, guys, it's your favorite part of the case review, I've been told by Phil. So I've got my Michael Jackson handy dandy gloves on so I don't get any marks on the case. And without further ado, let's peel the plastic. Now, we're going to take the glass off. This is tempered glass, by the way, and it does have a nice black border around the edges, which I like. Just a few thumb screws to remove. Very easy. Make sure you're holding it at the top as you do this. The last thing you want is the glass to go flying and you smash it up before you even get to build with it. That would be absolutely terrible. And it just lifts off like that. And on the front, as you can see, this strip here, that will be your RGB lining. Along the sides here and here, they're cutouts for airflow, as well as under the lip here. Okay, right here you have room for your fan that will accommodate a 120 millimeter fan. You can move it up and down so that it accommodates water cooling on the top. You have your I/O panel here for your motherboard. You have 7 expansion slots and for your power supply here. And on the top, you have your power button, your hard drive and power LED indicators, your reset LED buttons, 2 USB 3 ports, 1 USB 2, your audio jacks here, and a mesh dust cover. Not much to see here on the bottom, but you do have a dust filter, in which I'm not fond of, and I'll tell you why. I have to turn my computer over just to clean the dust filter, and that shouldn't be happening. This should be on a tray that you pull out from the back. So I don't like that, and it's crap. You got 4 rubberized feet, and then this is the vent along the front for your airflow. Okay, this is a MIDI tower, and it will support ATX, micro ATX, and mini ITX motherboards. Your storage capacity is basically 2 3.5-inch drives plus 4 2.5 drives, or a total of 6 2.5-inch drives. All right, your cooling. In the front, you can have up to 3 120 millimeter fans. Up top, you can have 2 120 or 140 millimeter fans. In the rear, 1 120 millimeter fan, and in the bottom, it supports 2 120 millimeter fans. About water cooling. In the front and the top, you can have up to 240 millimeter radiators. In the rear, it only supports 120 millimeters. Your max cooler height is 165 millimeters. Your graphics card length can be up to 335 millimeters, and your PSU length 170 millimeters. Okay, let's look at the case closer. You have a cutout behind here for your motherboard. Should you choose to add a water cooler at some point, you won't have to remove your motherboard. That's always good. You have cutouts along here, up the top, on the shroud for your cabling. However, they do not have rubber on them. I would have liked to have seen that. There are no fans that come with this case. Make of that what you will. The top here, cabling is a bit messy for my liking. Personally, I think they could have done that better. You have room to mount 2 SSDs along here. Also, take a look at the shroud. There's room for 2 fans to be mounted on top of the shroud. And speaking of the shroud, there's no cutout on the shroud. See, if you have a top-end power supply, you're not going to be able to see that. That's a shame. But the upside is if you don't have so good of a power supply, no one will see it. Okay, let's look at the RGB controller. You can add 5 additional devices to this. One here, and 3 here. This lead right here will go to your motherboard. It is a 2 minus 1 plus 1, so that's ARGB. Now, if your motherboard supports ARGB, you can control the colors through your motherboard software. If not, you will have to use the LED button on the top at the front panel. This will have to be plugged in as well to power the lights and to a SATA connection on your power supply. Okay, let's talk about the cables. They're nice black cables. You got your black on the I/O panel one. Nice black. And even lots of length on these cables too. You shouldn't have any trouble routing these cables. They look really lengthy. Moving right along. USB and HD audio. What's wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this picture? This rainbow colors, this day and age, should not be happening. Why? Why weren't they extended all the way down? It looks like it took so much more effort to secure this area here than it would to bring it all the way to the end. This is stupid. It should not be happening. I've seen cheap and nasty cases come through my door that have them all the way to the end, and then nice cases like this don't have it all the way to the end. Get with the program, people. Okay, you have two 2.5 bays here. They come off with just screwing to the left and lifting up. Very simple to take off. You also have a 3.5-inch caddy here, and you just squeeze in here and move the tray out. It's very simple. That came with all of these fittings and manuals and good stuff in it. But also, you can remove the caddy should you not want it to be there. There is a screw right through here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's just a thumb screw and it will twist off, and then you just push in and lift off. Okay, what you're seeing here now is the front of the case without the front panel on it. And to do that, I had to call in Phil because I lost the will to live doing it. It was just too much for me to cope with. Now, right through here, you're supposed to have 3 fans for intake. Notice here and here, you have very limited airflow. And if you're going to have a fan here, there's nothing here to suck in air. Nothing. No sound test was able to be done, being that the cases don't come with fans, and all fans have different noise levels and sounds, so we had to leave that part out. The case is attractive. It's got lots of room for extra GPUs and lots of space for your hard drives. If you wish to mount a water cooler up top like we had, you will find that it's a bit difficult if your motherboard has large heat sinks on it, and it does have a tendency to scrape the RAM. Our biggest issue with this case is the airflow. Unfortunately, even with 3 case fans on the front, it was not enough to keep our Intel i7 from thermal throttling. We added 2 fans on the bottom, and that was just pushing hot air around in the case. It didn't serve of any purpose due to no vents being on the bottom of the case. When we removed the front panel, temperatures on our CPU dropped dramatically. However, the downside is this case is not very builder-friendly in that it was very hard to take the front panel off in the first place. Overall, this is a really attractive case, and it does have some good options to it. The downside, though, being the airflow, I would recommend keeping this to a entry-level, maybe mainstream components build. So if you're into high-end computers, you may want to look further afield. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more case reviews, click here. If you'd like to see more about Xilence, click here. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.